that something that McMahon had to do to kind of keep the WWE, in the limelight a little bit?
No, because in all honesty, it's because of AEW. Once AEW came into the picture, Vince McMahon is never going to admit it, but he is scared. He's scared big time about AEW. So he figured, why not better than bring in two guys who were against him years ago, in Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, to take the lead, to kind of show them that, look, we're going to be, not to use the old pun here, but we're going to have a Monday Night War again. And that's why I said, and as far as being surprised, initially I was, but then when I thought about it afterwards, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. Because they always say, your enemy is your friend. So,
right.
So I wasn't, I'm just curious to see when they really start to take over.
Well, speaking of that, but what are your thoughts on AEW? I mean, do you think they're legit? I mean, they got some good wrestlers over there. Do you think it's legit? You think they can give WWE a run?
Absolutely. I mean, the first show is October 2nd at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. They sold it out in, I think, an hour. Or it took them no time. WWE has done a few shows in D.C. They've never sold out.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then.
I mean, I'll give you a great example. I was in Vegas back in May for Double or Nothing, their first pay-per-view, and you saw the entire arena was packed. And at that point, they hadn't done any events yet. So, I think AEW is going to be legit. It's going to cause – but it's weird because I'm not one of these people who think that AEW is going to run WWE out of business. I'm not one of those. What I'm hoping for, and I've said this on my show constantly, is I'm hoping AEW pushes WWE to start making better booking decisions.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree. Well, I mean, again, I grew up a wrestling fan. I was a WCW fan, and the WWE, or it was the WWF then before they changed their name. But I mean, I remember, I was a huge Sting fan and all that, and it took Sting so long to get from, he went to NWA and Impact and all through all those before he finally got to WWE. Then he got hurt, and, we didn't get to see – the dream match I think we all wanted to see was him and Undertaker, and we never got to see that match. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see that match. But I do agree with you. I think hopefully AEW does what you just said. I hope they not run WWE out, but force them into making better bookings. I agree with you on that. I agree.
But you also have to realize something else. You have AEW started up in October. The NWA is coming back. Impact's starting to pick up. So a lot of these promotions, it's basically what AEW is doing. Is they're changing the landscape of professional wrestling. On my show, the Comeback Wrestling Show, we have a saying called the AEW effect. That basically, because of AEW, you're seeing the changes in Ring of Honor, you're seeing the changes in a lot of these other promotions, and we attest to, me and my two co-hosts, kind of attested to the fact that because of AEW. So, I'm looking forward to AEW when it gets started. I'm just looking forward to actual good wrestling. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think that maybe this is what the WWE needed in a weird way, kind of like a kick in the ass type situation where they needed something like this to happen, where all these other promotions are starting to make a name for themselves and kind of saying, hey, I'd rather watch AEW or Ring of Honor or Impact more than I'm going to watch WWE, and maybe they're, some of those fans are starting to, change ship here. I mean, do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that. I know there's a lot of fans who I've spoken to who are fans of WWE, but I mean, I look no further than my two co-hosts, the guys who do the show with me every Wednesday, who are, I mean, we're all WWE fans, but because of the booking and the creative direction that a lot of the people in WWE are going, it's driving a lot of the fans away.
Yeah.
I had a say a while back that WWE screw-ups are going to be AEW's gains. And
Exactly.
more and more, we're seeing that more and more when you have guys like Dean Ambrose, who's now under the name of Jon Moxley. You have a lot of these guys who are leaving the WWE who are within a week or two are bolting right for AEW.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could even say that with Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes too. I mean, they're the headline there. So yeah.
I saw their match at Double or Nothing when they had their first match in a couple of years, and I said it right after. I wrote an article about it that to me was match of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you looked at that match, and I know we'll get to SummerSlam in a minute, but I just want to say quickly about that match. You look at the build for that match. You look at how that match. It wasn't a 5-star classic technical match. It was far from it. But my mentality is I want a wrestling match to tell the story, to make me emotionally invested in the match.
Right.
And when Cody cut his promo at the end of the match, when he turned around and he said, "I don't need a partner. I don't need a partner. I don't need a friend. I need my older brother."
Yeah.
There were people in the MGM Grand who started to tear up, which you never see anymore.
You know what, John? But I watched that clip on YouTube because I was just curious. I had heard that he had talked to Dustin or Gold Dust or whatever you want, however you want to call him. And I watched that clip, and I mean, it's hard not to tear up because you know that Dusty's looking down, smiling from ear to ear. When he saw that, Dusty's smiling down from heaven right now, going, "Those are my sons." That's what I left. That was my legacy right there. That was my legacy right there. So yeah,
you're 100% correct.
That was a very emotional moment. And again, and then that match against the Young Bucks, that was a pretty good match too in Jacksonville. That was a pretty good wrestling match too. So
they are good. Cody and Dustin really learned a lot from old daddy there, and Dustin is in his mid-50s right now, and I actually met him at StarCast.
Okay.
At one of the meet and greets, and he looked phenomenal for a guy who's in his 50s. He looks like right now he can go another 10 years in this industry.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, John. I hope he does. I mean, it would be great. I think it would be great for any promotion to have him go for that long. That would be great to see him do that.
Yeah. So let's get to the big event of the weekend.
So where do you want to start, bud? Do you want to start at a certain title? Do you want to start a non-title matches? How do you want to start?
It's your show, Bradley. You can start however you want.
All right, so I'm going to
doesn't matter to me.
I'm going to start at the top. We're going to start with the Universal Championship, and that's Lesnar and Rollins. What do you see? Do you see Seth winning the title back, or do you see Brock Lesnar continuing the dominance that he has been since he's been in wrestling?
Honestly, Lesnar, in my opinion, I said this on my show on Wednesday last night, Lesnar's going to retain here. You're not going to bring him back after you had Rollins defeat him at WrestleMania, to have him come back to win the Money in the Bank, to get back the Universal title, to drop it a month later.
Right. Okay.
I can't see it happening. And especially the fact Rollins as a babyface has not gotten over that well. So
no, I agree with that babyface thing. Yeah.
To me, it's Lesnar's going to retain. What I'm curious to see, though, and I mentioned this on my show last night, is where do they go with Rollins after SummerSlam? And there's been talks of Lesnar going to SmackDown when they go over to Fox in October. Are they going to have him come over with the Universal belt, or are they going to have him drop it beforehand? So if it's up to me, the way I would do it, you're going to have Lesnar take obviously, like I said before, I think he's going to win. I can see Lesnar dropping the belt at whatever the September pay-per-view is, and then have him go right to SmackDown come October.
Do you see a championship match down the road between him and Braun Strowman?
Good
Just
question. If
yeah.
if Strowman was booked better and wasn't booked as almost like a comic, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak,
Mm-hmm.
then absolutely. But I think WWE missed the boat on him big time, and if they should have put the belt on him a long time ago.
I agree
Because
with
if
you.
they do it now. I'm a believer that you have to have credibility as a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at somebody like Strowman, a year ago I would have said absolutely. He had the credibility. But
Mm-hmm.
now, since he's been booked and the way he's been basically booked by Vince, I can't see it happening.
Okay. Okay. The next one, Bud, would be the WWE Championship, and that's Kingston versus Orton. What are your thoughts on that match?
This one is interesting because this one I'm kind of 50-50 on.
Okay.
I know Orton is not on a full-time schedule right now, but I could see WWE turning around and putting the belt on Orton that to kind of say, oh, look, we're sorry for what happened to you when you took on Lesnar a couple of years ago at SummerSlam. I could see that. However, with that being said, my gut tells me that Kingston's going to retain because you haven't really seen the fans. To me, once the fans start to turn on Kingston, that's when I think the possibility comes in more of him dropping the belt. So my prediction is Kingston retains at SummerSlam.
Do you think, John, when that happens, when they turn, or do you think that somebody from the New Day turns on him? Do you think one of those two guys turn on him and cost him the belt? Do you see a kind of a breakup between those three?
I can't see them breaking the New Day up right away because New Day still makes them a lot of money as far as merchandise goes. But if I was booking it, I would definitely have them break up and have it be that the way I would do it if I was Vince McMahon is I would have Big E and Xavier turn around and go, look, you only got the title because we had to win it for you.
Right, correct.
And that,
I can definitely see that happening.
And
definitely.
I can see then all of a sudden Xavier becoming the manager for a heel Big E, and then we get Big E versus Kofi down the road. That's what I was looking.
Yeah. The next one, Bud, is the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Natalya. That's a submission match. How do you see that one playing out?
This one, on my show, I made the prediction that I see Ronda Rousey coming back for this one.
Okay.
This is where I think she makes her return for a couple of reasons. One, she is friends with Natalya. Two, you can continue the feud with Becky and Ronda, and you can have Ronda turn around and go, when you pinned me at Mania, my shoulders were never on the mat.
Right.
I can see them doing that to give Natalya the win, and then you can have Becky and Ronda feud for a bit where you don't have to have a title in the picture. Then what you can do is with somebody like Natalya, then you can start having her almost do the veteran role and put over a new star. I'm not saying Becky isn't good or anything, but I think her momentum has come downhill rapidly since WrestleMania.
So then the next one, Bud, is the SmackDown. So you have Bayley versus Ember Moon. How do you see that one playing out?
This one's weird because this one, to me, if you look at all three of the women's matches, where we look at Becky and Natalya, look at Charlotte and Trish, and you look at this one to me seems like it's getting not a lot of airtime, so to speak. And the problem is Bayley, yes, she's phenomenal in ring worker. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if her continuing her reign makes sense. So I see Ember taking the win here and becoming your new SmackDown champion.
Do you think, Bud, with Bayley, do you think it's time for her to turn heel?
I said that for a while.
Seems to be a face a lot. So do you think it's time for her to become a heel somewhere down the road?
Absolutely. I said that for a while. I said what they should do. You look at two other people in the WWE